week 12 of this NFL season. Been a great ride. NFL's been pretty much clean on COVID cases, and besides one big hiccup, but we're gonna quickly recap on last week's group of games. Cardinals Seahawks, good game. Seattle's defense for once finally showed up, and that's the team I have as my Super Bowl pick if that defense stays the same as they did. I don't know how Kyler's going to play throughout the season with that shoulder injury. It's very suspect the way he looked that game. But I digress. Go to another heartbreak game for me. Titans Ravens. Oh, Henry. Oh, Derrick Henry. When we were literally this close, literally literally had the Titans beat, and somehow just Derrick Henry just turns it on in the fourth, and then AJ Brown. I don't know what to say there. He literally had him stopped for like a 5 yard slant. He just takes it into the end zone. It's just ain't nothing there to say. Can't say too much on that. I just hope Baltimore turns it around. Packers Colts, another thriller with some very questionable decisions. SA, I'll ask you real quick. What do you think about that game? Because I had some really questionable decisions about your team and what Matt LaFleur did.
I mean, it gave me a lot of confidence on the offense. We did really well against the number one pass D. Many people saying we can only do well against bad teams, and against the number one pass D, we did really, really, really good. But it's just, I really think this depends last year. There's no way someone could be so ignorant for weeks after weeks, starting short. You're just gonna play your DBs, play soft coverage when they get an easy first down like that. You cannot. It's just automatic. Every QB can just see that, and every time it's a first down, and you're just seeing it happen. You can't do nothing about it. And I really think it's gonna be his last year. We have too much talent on the defense to be this bad. We have the Smiths who did so good last year. Jair who's doing amazing, and it's just we cannot be this bad at defense. I really don't get it.
Well, I mean, I agree with you there. Especially, I mean, I wouldn't even say it was that. I think it was just more. You guys made some really dumb calls. I don't know what made you guys go for it on 4th and 1. Say y'all should just kick the field goal.
No,
Possibly,
no, no. I agree with that call. We just they did good. They stopped us. The 4th and 1, you cannot play safe in this league. That was a good call. I like going for fourth,
with
especially in your
six
territory.
with 6 minutes left in their territory to
Hmm.
kick a field goal and tie the game, and that's a smart call.
Yeah, it was a smart call. You don't
It
play
was six
soft.
minutes, Emmanuel. That's a lot of time. I
Yeah,
would go with that call. If it was two
yeah.
minutes, 3 minutes, then I wouldn't. But 6 minutes is a
It
lot.
would have been a 40-plus field goal. You go for it. But they made a good
Yeah,
play. They stopped us.
they made
I
a
didn't like
lot.
the play call, but I like going for it.
I disagree with you, but I digress. Kansas City Chiefs, Oakland Raiders. Ain't there much to say. Kansas City got the revenge. I mean, but I give props to John Gruden, especially for that defense. They played better than I expected. I thought Kansas City was going to rout them, but they didn't. They contained KC a little bit. They didn't let him have those chunk deep plays to Miko Harmon or Robinson or Tyreek Hill. They didn't let those happen, but that final drive is really questionable. I don't know what Jonathan Abrams doing. I don't know why you're going to go guard Patrick Mahomes and then leave Travis Kelsey wide open in the end zone. But I mean, I don't know. You get paid millions of dollars to do that, but I'm not gonna talk too much on that. And one of the most stressful games I've seen, Rams and Bucks. Oh man, Bruce Arians, you're a piece of work. You know that he is really a piece of work.
We
Again,
know all about that as Steeler fans.
oh my god, he's a piece
The
of
old
work.
empty set on the goal line. Ah, you gotta love the empty set on the
Piece
goal
of
line.
work.
5 wides on the goal line.
And then yeah, every week he finds a way to blame Brady. Like I understand Brady messes up. Okay, he's human. Okay, but don't make it seem like it's all Brady's fault. I just want to bring this stat up. In the past 3 games where Brady has thrown a deep shot, more than 20 yards, Brady is 0-19 with 3 interceptions. And yet, Bruce Arians has the guts to blame Brady. It's your offense, Bruce. I don't know why you don't want to change it. I don't know why you don't want to change it. Your offense is too risky. It's the same thing with Jameis Winston. Even when people were bashing Jameis Winston, even Chris Godwin came up and said, "Don't put all this blame on Jameis because it's not all on Jameis." And to this too, Brady has thrown more interceptions than he threw in New England last year, and New England did not have the talent. So
And he's getting
Uh,
sacked more too, much
yeah,
like happened in Pittsburgh, where he was nearly his career nearly ended prematurely.
yeah, yeah. It's just Bruce. I don't know when you're gonna learn that. I don't know when you're gonna learn that you're an overrated coach. And the fact is, the coach that you played has done more than you have in your career, and he's only been coaching for what, 4 years? I could be right. 4 years. Sean McVay's been coaching for 4 years.
Yes, 4 years.
Yeah, four
Still,
years.
young man.
4 years. Still got way more to do. You ain't done nothing special, and that's why I don't have you winning anything because I don't trust you. And you're putting too much on Brady. Now, yes, he's a GOAT, but that's not an offense for Brady. And that's why I said carefully, Brady may not win this divorce against Belichick. He may win it short term because he's winning, but long term, this isn't going to end well. But I'm not going to talk too much on that. I'll talk more against Kansas City, but we're going to get into this week of games, and we got a great set of games, and we're just getting ready to go.
Yeah, well, speaking of learning, I mean, we talked about how Bruce Arians never learns, but I've learned a lot from our special guest who's joining us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, just to make a quick introduction, this is Mr. Carl Shifkins. He is our English teacher extraordinaire, Paint Branch High School, teaches ninth grade and also AP English. He also happens to run the English Honor Society and also has a significantly large role in our building as our staff development person, and particularly in the time of this pandemic, I know has done a phenomenal job keeping teachers like me who are pretty poor with technology, keeping teachers like me afloat, keeping the dinosaurs away from the lava pits. Okay, that's how I'd question. But Ms. Shifkins also happens to be a big Steelers fan, so this is a big get for us today. So we welcome you, Mr. Shifkins. Thanks for taking the time to join us here today. Also, a great father out there of two as well.
So, all right, well, thank you very much. I'll try to live up to that intro. Good word.
I think you'll be fine. Let's do it.
First game, we all know what this is. We don't. I don't even think I have to introduce this. I think we all know, and I think our special guest knows this. This is not even a question. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanksgiving night, Thursday night football, and another big divisional game that could determine a lot of things. Potentially, Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh does lose, it could open the door for Kansas City to maybe steal the 1 seed, or it could dictate Baltimore's season. I don't know, but we'll see on Thursday. We'll see on Thursday night. Pittsburgh has a 3-point edge over under 45. Faison.
Oh man, I cannot wait for this game. Hopefully everything goes, clear today and tomorrow whenever the Ravens fly out to Pittsburgh. Everyone picked the Ravens when the Ravens Steelers first played against each other about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Last week I picked the Titans to win. I was the only one to pick the Titans. I'm glad I did because every time we sweep, it always goes wrong. So I'm glad I picked the Titans. Oh man, it's gonna suck for the Ravens because J.K. Dobbins is out. He's been unbelievable. A Ravens fan really gonna suck for them because he's been great. He's like a little like Ray Rice. I compare him to. Not only does he wear 27, but he just fights for those extra yards. He reminds me so much of Ray Rice. Mark Ingram is not going to be there, so they're going to all aboard the Gus bus. So Gus Edwards is going to have to take control of that. I don't know the status of Calais Campbell. Hopefully he played because I want him to play because they definitely missed him and Brandon Williams on Sunday against Derrick Henry. I'm riding with the Steelers. I think the Steelers at Heinz Field, Thanksgiving night, 10-0. They're going to go to 11-0. I think I've seen a lot of people predict that this is going to be a blowout. I just don't think that. It's because it's the Ravens and Steelers. It's just not going to be a blowout. It's going to be all out war, man. Come on now. I'm going to say 27-24 Pittsburgh.
Man, we look back on this storied rivalry, and it's always weird when there's a Thursday game, right? You think back to the Thursday games that we've had against the Ravens in the past. There've been some wild ones. The Sean Sweezum game, right? Missed field goal and the Michael Vick game that we should have won. Somehow we still go to the AFC Championship game that year somehow. But that game was, ingrained in the memory. Of course, the 2013 sideline incident with Tomlin and Jacoby Jones, probably the only scratch on Tomlin's record that you could really put on his character, maybe in his history, which is saying a lot. And now you have this COVID mania. But memo to Ravens fans, quit your crying. Quit your crying. Y'all had a season last year where everything went right for you. You had one significant injury, Tavon Young, at the beginning of the year. Other than that, man, you guys got every break on the way to 14-2 and a golden opportunity in a weak AFC last year, minus the Chiefs, of course, who were tough. But still, I mean, I had every bit of confidence they could win that, and they didn't do it. Much like we did in 2017, it was one of those seasons for us back when we were 13-3, and then we get to Jacksonville, and you're a little overconfident in yourself, and you face a hungry team, but you're also young. You know, this Ravens team is young. I think people forget that. Like, you lose Marshall Yanda and Suggs in an 18-month period. Those are two pillars of your organization, two significant leaders that are not there anymore. And when John Harbaugh has to step to the 50-yard line to push the Titans off there, and your players didn't do that, like, that was stunning to me. That is like very un-Ravens-like. So I think this team is just going through some growing pains right now. I think they had a better year last year than maybe they expected. And so as a result, this is what we're seeing this year. And I can see the Steelers following at the exact same arc right now, because we can't run the football. And much like last year where the Ravens really couldn't pass the football when it mattered, we can't run the football when it matters. And so we might have a beautiful record going into the playoffs, but until we can figure out how to be multidimensional, it's going to be tough. That said, this offensive passing attack is flowing, and we need a game where we come out and start strong with controlled passing. There's only one game we've done that all season. That was Tennessee first drive, where we went down and scored on like a beautiful 10-minute drive. That's what we need in this Ravens game. We need to start the game off with controlled passing to set up the run and put ourselves in position to ice out this game. And yeah, it stinks for the Ravens that they've got guys out in this game, but you know, this is the way it's going to be this year. So you got to deal with that. With that said, I expect their best. I expect them to come and try to punch us in the mouth early. I certainly expect them to test our run with the Gus Bus. At the same time, man, I feel like the Steeler defense is going to get this done. Okay, we've given up only 162 points this season. Man, this defense is primed and ready. This offense looks pretty good. I think we got some flaws. The special teams of the Ravens is definitely better than ours, and that could also factor into this game. Don't be surprised if you see a fake punt. You see Harbaugh try a crazy onside kick. You see something crazy happening to try to take this game, because this situation reminds me a lot of the picture I just put up here today from 2012, where the Steelers came into Baltimore in a very memorable game and beat the Ravens with Charlie Batch at quarterback and tons of injuries, 15 guys on IR going into that game. We were more banged up even than the Ravens coming into this one and didn't have a quarterback. And Charlie Batch found a way to get that win. So this is a hard game to pick, because I can feel the energy of that possibly creeping in here too for the Ravens' sake. But I'm going to take the Steelers 23-20. I think we hang on and win this game. But I don't think Baltimore's dead yet, and I'm not willing to declare them that way for sure. But quit your crying already, Ravens fans. Just man up and let's play this game.
Hey, now, well, you know, I got to settle on Pittsburgh, but let's talk about it for a little bit. You know, Ravens are a good club. They're going to get theirs. I'm still convinced they're going to get theirs in the running game. You know, Gus knows what he's doing. You know, he's a bull. You know, he'll get his yards. Even though we do have Alu in, he'll sure us up. But what I am counting on is, you know, that front four getting about, 20% fewer snaps last Sunday. And so I think in the long run, they're going to be fresh and they're going to be feeling good. Not too good though, because we don't want to hype ourselves out. But I think they'll be ready. You know, the defense for Pittsburgh has a penchant for making big plays. And it's not an anomaly, right? It happens with some consistency. I don't think they'll get the turnovers like they did the first time against the Ravens. And so I think that's one area where I think, Jackson has to improve. If he has some ball security, that already is going to make the game closer, I think. So, but I do like our defense, and I like that they're rested. I do have to thank, I think I want to thank the Ravens for the first time around, where they really forced us into our 0-1 set, and it really taught us, how to play that way and how to control the clock that way. And so that was a great half of football. And we learned a lot about our team there. And that might be our bread and butter. Pittsburgh is not the best team, but we are the winningest. And so it's important to know how to win. And I think they've shown that with some consistency. That said, Baltimore's got playmakers all over the field. They've got a great blitz game, and if they could get to Ben, that our offensive line has been spectacular, and he's been getting rid of the ball quick. But if they could get to Ben, that could change some things up, and that's definitely an X factor. I think Jackson's got to start being a little different quarterback. They got to start letting him throw the ball a little bit. They got to let him take some chances, because I think they're a little bit stale in the offense, a little bit predictable in some ways. And so, he's not going to get better at a passer if you don't start letting him pass. And he hasn't made those progressions in the passing game. And so, it might not be this week, but they should start thinking about that a little bit as we look ahead. One thing that I do like about Pittsburgh is their special teams. And so they got this guy, Ray McLeod, who is making plays, just all-purpose yards, just balling it out. And so we haven't really had that in some time. And so I look for us to maybe have a little bit of an edge in that respect. But I am taking Pittsburgh. I thought that line shifted a little bit. I thought it was up to maybe 4.5, 3. That's an easy call for me. So I do take Pittsburgh. I'm thinking the score is going to be about 24-20. It will be close. It's always close. I don't see a blowout happening in any stretch. So 11-0.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Shifkins. I think we should let Lamar loose. Just let him throw some deep passes. I'm disappointed from last Sunday. We should have won that game. We were 21. We were up by 11, 21-10. And the Ravens, once we're up by even 5, by 6, by 7, we don't lose. We were up by 10 against the Steelers. We lost. Up by 11 by the Titans, we lost. It's just disappointing to watch. To see our defense to react that way. You don't see the Ravens getting bullied by a receiver. You see the Ravens bullying the offense. You don't see them getting bullied. The Ravens do not get bullied like that. And once I saw that, I was like, yeah. As soon as that AJ Brown touchdown, I was like, the momentum shifted. He made everyone hyped. He made Derrick Henry hyped. He made everyone hyped just by pushing our players into the end zone. That's just embarrassing, disappointing, disgusting. But again, it's the game, right? We lost J.K. Dobbins, we lost Ingram, we lost Pernell McPhee. Again, Mr. Ali said we shouldn't cry over that. We should get our heads in and get this game ready. But without Pernell McPhee, that hurts our run game. But that hurts our run defense. But again, Mr. Ali said they don't have amazing. They don't have an amazing run game. So we still got Jalen Ferguson, Yannick Ngakoue. We got good amount of players. Tyus Bowser, who made a great play last week. The amazing interception, just he was on point. I got the Ravens winning 24-27, same phase on score, but Ravens way. I feel like we're gonna come out hungry. This is the game where Greg Roman should throw it all out. It don't matter if play this like this is a playoff game. Play this like this is the Super Bowl. We lose this, I wouldn't say we're out because the Browns still got the Titans to play. They still got the Steelers to play. They still got us to play. But if we lose this, we will make the playoffs, but I don't see us going anywhere. And even if we win this, I still don't see us going anywhere. I see the Chiefs or the Steelers. Because if we don't trade for elite receiver, like in the offseason, we're not going nowhere. And I see Dad's playing a lot in this game. Like, he did a veteran move last week, and I've been texting my friends about this every time. Like, look at what he did at the end of the game. He came back for Lamar, caught the ball, ran for a first down. You don't see that. You only see that in elite receivers. AB did that. Randy Moss. They all did that for the QBs. Hollywood just standing there. Snead running his routes, looking around. Andrews just running everywhere. Like, Daz came back for Lamar, caught the ball, and ran for a first down. And that's what I like to see. And that could be the play that could get him a starting job. Because, hey, you missed that Steelers player. That's a touchdown. We were on the, 12th or 13th yard line? Right? Yeah. So,
he could have used that height there, definitely.
Exactly.
On that last play.
Yeah.
And Dez had a great career against Steelers. You know, his 2 games against Steelers, he's played very well.
Yep.
So that's concerning as well. I mean, that's the kind of guy we struggle to cover, but luckily Terrell Edmonds been looking a lot better in that respect lately. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. No problem. That's good input. Yeah, but and then overtime against the Titans, like, come on, Greg Roman, you don't do play action on second and long. Come on. You know the Titans got their linebackers rushing all the time. Like, see, that's what makes me mad because he played such a great offensive game. Like, I was so happy that he finally came up with a good scheme, played a great offense game. As soon as overtime came, Lamar gets sacked. Why? Because he did play action. Let him stay in. See, this game, Mr. Ellis and Mr. Shifkins, I feel like we should go 5 wide, let Lamar stay in shotgun, and just play like that. Go 5 wide, let Lamar stay in shotgun, and just go 5 wide. If you don't see anything open, run on the edge.
Particularly if we give you that zone look or we come out in quarters, you know, like we like to do in the first half of games for some mysterious reason. Let QBs complete like 18 passes in a row, like we did for Baby Cousins a couple weeks ago, where we let Baby Cousins complete like 18 passes in the first half.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then just run the ball, run down your throats. Just like Gus did last time. He had 80, 90 yards on you guys. Yes, Dobbins had over 100. We don't have him, but Gus did a very good game last time. He had 80 to 90 yards and a touchdown. I feel like we're going to use him a lot. And I can see us winning this game if we play very well on offense. We got to have a complete game. Special teams, offense, and defense. One of those goes missing, we lost. It is what it is, but got the
Reminds me
Ravens
a
winning.
lot of 2012. That's what I'm worried about. It reminds me
Yeah,
a lot of that second 2012
yeah.
game, man. That's what it feels like right now. It reeks of it right now. Reeks of it. Oof.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 24-27 Baltimore. I think we pull this out. Same score as my score last week against the Titans. I hope we don't choke it for up. I hope we don't. Greg Roman, Wink Martindale, John Harbaugh, let's get this together.
And I hope you keep picking the Ravens because I'm finally out of the cellar.
Let's go, Baltimore. Get this dub.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really close. Like, even when you look at it last year, and I know it was a division game, and the Ravens Steelers are always competitive. The Steelers were so close to beating the Ravens, and if it wasn't for I think it was Humphrey who knocked the ball out of Juju's hand in overtime. It was a really, really good game, and I'm pretty sure that was a game Mason Rudolph left as well with a bad injury. But these Steelers games are like, people may knock on them. Yeah, they had an easy schedule, but the Ravens have almost nearly the exact same schedule. If it wasn't for like maybe the Chiefs, that's 1 game difference. But I really do not think Lamar has confidence in any of his receivers. Last year compared to this year, it reminds me of Rodgers in 18 when he broke his leg in the first game, and he had Devontae but lost Jordy Nelson that offseason and was stuck with 3 rookie receivers. Lamar just stands in the pocket and he hesitates to throw anything deep because he doesn't really have. He ends up just the check down or the knockoff because he looks like he has no trust in any of his receivers, even Hollywood. And I think that has to change before anything gets better in Baltimore. And Steelers, yeah, the only thing they have on, in like maybe the Cowboys game where they got lucky in some of these calls, but I like the Steelers to beat this team. I think it'll be close because this is a division matchup. The Ravens are not some bad team. This will be a really good game. I say 21-27. I mean, yeah, 21-27 Steelers, but I picked the Ravens for the first time in weeks against the Tennessee, and they let me down. They had it all in the end until Patrick Queen looked like he was for the Packers trying to tackle AJ Brown. It was just sad to see. And then you see Derrick Henry, who in the first half did a really good job in containing it. In the second half, just like that, the game is done in overtime. And
I think as Mr. Shifkin spoke about too, the defensive line depth was a factor without
yeah,
question. It will be a factor tomorrow too.
yeah. And do we have a moment other than maybe the Niners game last year where Lamar has done well in the 2-minute drill? I really cannot think of multiple times where Lamar has done well in the 2-minute drill. I
I
think
thought the
maybe
drive last week was pretty good though, right? The
against
drive to take it to OT was pretty good though, right?
you mean the
Yeah.
Patriots or
No, I'm
No,
talking
the
about
Ravens Titans, right?
last week. Yeah, last week.
Yeah,
you talking
that
about
was a
Tennessee?
perfect drive.
I
I'm
thought that was
talking
a
about the
great
end of the
drive.
game.
Great drive to get the field goal there, right?
Yeah,
Oh, now
great
I'm
drive.
talking about like to win to actually win the game because I remember the Saints game. I think he kind of got lucky with Justin Tucker missing a really rare field goal to tie the game.
Yeah,
That's right.
Or yeah, to tie the game there. But the Niners game, he did a really good job in getting the
For
game-winning field
Tucker,
goal.
yeah.
But how many times? Because the 2-minute drill, other than maybe Kaepernick, I've seen to actually be successful, you have to throw the ball and have trust in your receivers. And unless he does that, I really don't think he'll win many close games as they possibly can.
Yeah, I agree, I say. I think this is another game for Snead, Andrews, and Dez.
Yeah,
Hollywood, if Dez comes on the field, I see Hollywood in the slot, but I don't know if he can run his routes.
yeah.
He looks so lazy, so I don't know. We're just gonna have to see what we do.
Well, and also too, just to throw out, when you think about those situations, just one more little shout out here when we talk about the importance of this game. Great Ravens fan was lost this week. I don't know if you guys have read about him. Willie Snead actually brought it to my attention. Willie Snead's a pretty awesome guy off the field from what I'm seeing through Twitter and such and his charitable things. But this guy, Mo, for the Ravens was like a legendary figure, this kid. And he passed away just a little while ago, and they did a feature on him, and it's incredible if you haven't seen it. But I think they got a lot of his fire in them right now. So that's going to be an extra little motivation too for
Oh
this
yeah,
game.
yep.
This
I
game.
remember we put like his pictures all over the stands that one game because he was passed away and everything. It was great.
This is a really hard game to really say. But I still do think Baltimore can win this game because I look back at when we played Pittsburgh, when we played them week 8. We did everything we were supposed to do. We ran the ball, ran it down their throats. We had like almost 300 yards of rushing on them. Our defense played well. Only issue was just ball security. Because Pittsburgh I think got 21 points off turnovers, and they got the pick six. So and with all that, still it came down to a game. It came down to like a final play. So when I look at it, I don't see people saying it's gonna be a blowout yet, but I don't see it that way. And I think Baltimore this game has a lot more to prove than Pittsburgh. And I just feel like them losing Juju, possibly, I don't know yet. He's still questionable with that ankle injury. But, maybe losing him, having that veteran leadership, that may hurt the Steelers a little bit, receiver wise. I don't know. But, oh, this is tough. I mean, I did like what Greg Roman did a little bit in that Titans game, and he almost like he listened to our podcast. Just have Dez out there, single receiver side, run your play one side, have him backside. If it's not there, just throw him a little now route. Just throw him right there, a little crack, let him get 5 yards. And that's why I was trying to harp. And, he did it. And going to JP, he made a very good veteran move, coming back to Lamar to catch the ball. JK threw a great block, took it up the sideline, got 15 yards. And I think it's that leadership that this Ravens team needs, and that since we lost Yonda, we've lost Stanley, we've lost a lot of guys. Well, not a lot, but a lot of key guys that were a part of what made us 14-2. And yes, we're not playing as well as we should, but it's expected. You're usually not expected to have the success you did as you did last year, unless you are one of those rare dynasties like the Patriots or the 49ers or the Cowboys. It's very hard to continuously be good. It's really hard. And if you do that for a very long period of time, it's props to you. But, I'm still going to take Baltimore in this. I think Baltimore just has a little bit more fire, knowing that this game could dictate their confidence. And especially winning this game, going to a very easy 5-game stretch where we don't see anybody over a 500 record besides Cleveland, but I don't see them over 500. They're still a mediocre Browns team to me. But
They're garbage.
yeah, the only reason they're winning is because of their run game and Stefanski's play calling that's doing just enough to keep Baker from making mistakes. But I just don't trust Baker. I'm gonna take the same score as JP and Faison. I'm gonna say Baltimore 27-24. But it's gonna be a great game.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
So I do want to bring up coaching, since I've heard you guys talk some about the Ravens coach. We can't dismiss what Tomlin is doing this year with that club, and so they're winning the games they're supposed to win, but they are winning convincingly, right? And so I don't think Pittsburgh is the same team that they were when they played the Ravens either. they've matured. They know how to win better, and they're winning convincingly when they should. And so that given, I mean, there's still lots of flaws there, but I think honestly, they outcoached Baltimore the first time around. The adjustments that they made in the second half really turned that game around, and so I think it'll be interesting. We've talked about coaches needing to make adjustments and ask different things of the Ravens players, and so I'm curious to see if Pittsburgh does the same, realizes that this is a hungry club showing up at their door, and they're going to be ready for them.
Oops. Tom has been masterful in the press conferences this year, and particularly, you guys hear me there? Particularly when he talked about the fact that we're desperate too this week. The Ravens are desperate, but we're desperate too. We're desperate for another win. We're desperate to keep this going. So I like his mentality. Last week, the whole MAC versus Big Ten comparison was amazing, considering that the 5 players from the MAC contributed incredibly in the last game. Yeah, guys, there's no question in my mind that this year, I think Harbaugh's had the tougher job because he doesn't have the quality veterans that the Steelers have, and I think that's a big factor. And also helping Tomlin to look good, just like, with Shivkins, when we have a good class, man, some of it's us, but some of it's them too. And, I think you're seeing that nice balance happening right now, which is why we got to take advantage of this and get to Lombardi, because if we don't, next year, I can see us being the 8-9 seed at this point in the season and falling apart, because when you got lightning in a bottle, man, you got to capitalize. And the Ravens know this all too well.
Well, next, for once, we're actually going to talk about the NFC least. Crazy to believe or not. We got the Dallas Cowboys facing the Washington football team. Crazy fact, Washington's actually thinking about keeping the name football team. Sad case. Anyway, another Thanksgiving.
I like it. I mean, what you think if they asked the Wizards if the Wizards would want to keep Washington basketball team over the Wizards, I guarantee you they would have kept Washington basketball team for 20 plus years over the Wizards. Believe me. So, I mean, I wouldn't even roll the dice, man. Don't roll the dice if you can't pay the price. I'd go ahead and just stick with WFT and just hope they don't reverse the letters too much.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Another Thanksgiving game for the division, and sadly, the winner of this game is winning the division. It's a really sad division, honestly. I think even the Bengals now, if they have Burrow the whole year, I think Burrow could come in here and win this division with the team he has. But I'm not going to speak too much on that.
Maybe Cousins.
I mean, Joe Burrow looked pretty good before they annihilated his leg, but
well, you get stats, no wins, but good stats.
I mean, but that's due to his team. I think if he was,
that's always the excuse.
No, I actually believe if he was a Brown today, I'd be more scared of the Browns. Honestly, that's my only. If he was a Brown, I would be like, oh shoot, we could actually be in third place. Because
but he wouldn't be, because they've played better than the Bengals, which is why the Bengals got him. It is, man.
They're playing better because Stefanski is just taking the ball out of Baker's hands and letting Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb do the dirty work. Because they know if Baker gets the ball, we've all seen that Baker. Baltimore's seen it. We killed him.
We can't wait to see that Faker. Yeah, we love that.
Yeah.
Faker.
So, but I'll go into this. Dallas has a 3-point edge, which is really surprising. I expected a little bit more. And the over-under is 46. Faison?
Interesting game. Didn't think it was gonna be an interesting game, but considering the playoff implications with the NFC least, I think all of them has 3 wins. So this is really an interesting game. I like what I saw from Dallas last week against Minnesota, and I know Minnesota is an average team, but they put up points, and Dallas put up more points. So they played really good last week. Washington last week played against Cincinnati. First of all, prayers up to Joe Burrow. His rookie season, touring his ACL, his MCL is just, man, that's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking, and he was having a good season. So hopefully he can just come back stronger, because we don't wish that on anybody. Not especially our division rivals. We don't do that here. So just prayers up to him. Alex Smith is playing decent for his role. 2 years out of the league. He's been doing his job. And I don't know. This is an interesting game. Washington has a great defense. If Alex Smith can do his job, I like Washington in this upset. I do. 21 low scoring game, 21 to actually 24 to 17. I like Washington here.
Mm. Tough one to call, but I got to go where the talent is. Okay. And I think there's more talent with the Dallas Cowboys, particularly offensively, going into this game. And I also think there's going to be a little special extra fire. I'm not sure if you guys heard about their strength and conditioning coach yesterday, who was initially pronounced dead. And then later the story edited that he is on life support, their strength and conditioning coach. He was very popular across the NFL and actually was with the Patriots for 3 of their championships. And I know Tom Brady in the past has credited this guy with being the big reason why their team was who they were, physically speaking, going into those big games. So, many prayers up to the family there. But with that said, guys, I think Dallas is going to have a little extra special juice for this game. McCarthy's weird, man. He's a PA guy like me, so and I know Shivkins. I don't want to lump you necessarily into the Yinzer group here, but I definitely, I see the McCarthy Yinzerisms that I see in myself in a lot of ways, and I like him for that reason. But the reality is, he's more of a rah-rah guy than he is an X and O's guy, much like I am when it comes to teaching. So at the end of the day, the expectation is that he's going to have his team fired up. I think they're talented. I think Andy Dalton played pretty well last week. Let's not forget, he almost threw the interception there at the end of the game, which almost cost them. But otherwise, he played a good game, and he got that tight end involved, man. I tell you, that guy could have lit up the Steelers if we didn't have Terrell Edmonds play such a great game, which Steeler fans will ignore, of course, because they like to pick on him. But he was awesome in that game against, was it Schultz, I believe, the tight end for Dallas that caught the game winner? Yeah. I like that guy, man. And, I think he's like an Andy Dalton kind of guy, blue collar kind of guy. He's going to get the ball. And I just think that the Washington football team, many apologies for that, guys. We make a few slips, but we don't mean to. We take it very seriously. Washington football team, I just don't think offensively has enough, and they take too long to get going. And, if you've got a great defense like the Steelers and you take too long to get going, you're fine. But if you're Washington, you take too long to get going, you're going to lose. And I like Dallas 30-17.
So Alex Smith is just such a great story. You think of the parody, I don't think parody is the word I want there, but, the irony, Joe Burrows, we lose him. And that's just a fraction of what Smith has gone through to make it back on the football field. And so definitely props to him. I mean, I'd be scared out of my mind to take another snap in the NFL, and he's back there slinging it. And he's mature. Like, he does bring like a poise to the offense and like an understanding. And he's doing a nice job now. And I got to tell you, my heart would like to see the Washington football team win this game. I don't think they will, but I would like to see it. But I don't think they're there yet. It's hard for me to go against. I mean, as silly as it is, we're in COVID times, but it's hard for me to go against the Dallas football team on Thanksgiving. I mean, what is that? It's ridiculous, but their record is ridiculous, and I mean, they certainly have a history of handling the Skins. I think Dalton. We know what Dalton is. He will manage a game. He'll make some plays when he has to. Probably won't do anything spectacular unless he's playing a defense that's really going to put pressure on him, which we'll see what Washington can muster. I think he'll be all right, and I think they'll get the job done for sure. And so I'm looking for the score to be the Washington football team 18 and the Cowboys 23. A lot of field goals.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Shifkins. I got the Washington football team winning this. I don't think the Cowboys got in them. I think Washington football team are like heated. It is what it is. I think the heated Chase Young is looking like Chase Young. He's balling out. He's playing great defense. I think the defense will win the game, and I'm with Mr. Shifkins. They're gonna kick a lot of field goals. I see them winning 24-21.
Yeah, I really hope that I know probably won't happen, but I really hope Goodell changes the tradition on Thanksgiving and removes the Lions, removes the Cowboys. This is kind of getting annoying to watch each year. two teams that struggle to ever be, competitive in the playoff picture. Maybe the Cowboys a little bit, but even the Washington football team, they're in it. I really don't get that rule. Um, I would just say this game is really wouldn't be interesting at all if you were looked at the beginning of the season with the injuries that happened. But with how bad the NFC East is, anything is really possible. The fact that the Giants 3-7 actually have a chance to win a division is just so sad. And it's really a funny story in the NFL. But this game, I really don't even know what to make of it. I would say the Cowboys do win, and they win a pretty good game. I would say 28-20. I like my favorite player is Terry. I expect him to absolutely destroy this Cowboys defense. If it
He is
means,
injured.
yeah, but he's been amazing with three different QBs, absolutely amazing. And if he does play, I do think he'll have a great game. CeeDee Lamb has been amazing for the Cowboys this season. He stepped up with Amari Cooper not performing as well as he should, even after getting that $100 million contract. Um, I do think the Cowboys will win this game 20-28.
I mean, I agree with SA for most of that fact, but I don't know. It's just two untrustworthy teams, you know. And I'm picking Dallas for a few reasons. One, I want my cousin to shut up because he's annoying me with Washington. Because every time is because Baltimore's 6-4 and we're down behind the Browns, he's like, "Oh, but we still have a chance to win our division." I'm just like, "But you're 3-7." I don't get NFC Least fans. I don't get them. If Dallas wins, I'm gonna hear a lot of Dallas fans come out. They're just gonna start. They're the most obnoxious fans. And if Washington wins, oh my God, this air's gonna blow up. Like in my head, like originally I had the Eagles win this division. They're very disappointed. Carson Wentz. I expected better from me.
But isn't it great that you can even say that these games matter in the NFC least? Because I didn't expect that this game would even be something that we could talk about. This is the first time we talked about the Washington football team all year. It's the first time they've even been in a conversation. And I think for Dallas, it might be the first time too, guys. Is this the first time we've done a Dallas game all year?
Yeah, I think so.
No. Second, we did
Second.
we did Cleveland and Dallas.
Okay, that's right.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I picked that one wrong. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, me and
And
JP
Arizona too.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right. Okay, so I picked two wrong.
But going to what Mr. Ellis said with their strength and conditioning trainer going down, I mean, that's just more motivation. I mean, I don't know what other motivation you can give Dallas to win this game. I don't know. Maybe they'll smash some more watermelons with sledgehammers later. But it's a little weird to me. It's a little weird to me. Because he asked black guys to go smash the watermelons. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but just hearing it's kind of weird that he uses watermelons to motivate his team. But I won't speak too much of it. There'll be a lot of field goals in this game, like Mr. Shifkins and JP said. I actually think this game will be Dallas wins 18-15. Actually, no, 21-18. Okay.
I was gonna say that 18-15 score was awesome. But 21-18 is good too. But that was like a very like NFC least score right there. That was pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
15-18, but I feel like Dallas may squeak a touchdown just because of their offense. Maybe C makes a great grab. So
that's the NFC least, though, man. Show for me, I'll show for you. As Peter Gabriel once said, right? Bring the sledgehammer. I'll show you my 3-7. You show me your 3-7, and one of us is coming out victorious
Nice
in
reference.
the division.
They're going to have to play all quarters, huh? I mean, that's a brutal watch. That is a brutal watch.
You're already gonna be tryptophaning on your turkey, and then you got to watch the NFC least. Oof. Come on, Face. You know you want to say something. Why are you being all quiet back there? Let it out, man. Come on, you were on fire last week. Why are you being so quiet?
I don't know. I just feel bad. I just feel bad, man. Just if this is just a bad game,
Go after it. It's right there in front of you. Go get it.
I won't be surprised if this is a bad game. I just want my Thanksgiving to be filled with food. I just don't want to watch the NFC leave. This is not what I want to watch. Okay, it's just not what I want. That's why I'm praying for a good game. But whatever happens, happens. You can't complain.
Since we're on to huge big games, we're gonna skip a little bit, go to Sunday night football. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Are you sure that's Sunday Night Football?
What? Say that again.
I don't think that's Sunday Night Football. I think that's the
Yeah,
Packers game.
Bears are sending.
Oh no, my fault. Not Sunday night football, but the better.
How could you challenge the points leader? Come on.
I mean, no. They're right though. But I believe this is more of a Sunday night football game than the Packers Bears, because the Bears have a quarterback situation. So I just don't. Packers, you're gonna rout them.
The Bears always have a quarterback situation, right? I mean, what if they
Jimmy
had
Mack,
stability
yeah,
in that position? Good God.
Jimmy Mack, when are you coming back? Right? Yeah.
They're gonna regret that Mr. Trubisky pick for a long time. Had Watson on the board, took Trubisky.
Risky with Trubisky.
But I'll go into Kansas City has a 2.5 point edge. Shockingly, I don't know, and the over under is 52.5. Is on.
Yeah, I have Kansas City. Just like what Emmanuel said in the beginning of the podcast, it's just hard to watch the Buccaneers. And yes, they're 7-4. They're a good football team, but the inconsistency is unbelievable. The way they show up in prime time is embarrassing. And like I've been telling like everybody here, yes, you can, whoever's calling the plays, yeah, it's been bad. Like you have a 43-year-old quarterback who's throwing deep passes and it's 0-19. Yes, it's like you can blame Arians, you can blame Leftwich, whoever is calling the plays, but yes, Tom Brady has to be more accurate. He has to make better decisions. It's just that simple. And this is not the offense that is designated for TB. It's just not. Tom Brady made his name by carving up defenses, by reading defenses, throwing medium routes, short routes. This is not Tom Brady throwing deep. No, this is not the Tom Brady. It's just not. And man, Patrick, if Jared Goff can almost have 40 completions, just imagine what Patrick Mahomes is going to do. I think, but going back to the Chiefs game on Sunday night, Derek Carr was lighting it up. So if the Buccaneers have a chance in this game, Tom Brady has to play better. He has to carve up this defense like old Tom Brady did when I was watching him as a middle school kid, elementary school kid watching him. He's just got to do that. I have to see the old Tom Brady in this game because I see this game. Call me crazy. I see two overrated defenses, and I've been telling people this Bucs defense is overrated. They've had one good game against SA's Packers, and that's it. That's it. I don't know where it goes. I don't know where the pass defense is, but good luck with Patrick Mahomes. I'm gonna say 31-27, but I don't know. I have the Chiefs winning this.
Okay, so quick poll: worst head coaches in the NFL. Number 1, Adam Gase. Next, Bruce Arians. I mean, it's like not even close. I mean,
Arians number 2. I'm fine with that.
And Machines, I know you can relate to me on this. Having watched this man coordinate the Steeler offense for several years, you're literally calling out the plays in your living room before they come out. It's like, Ben, why are you even barking a cadence back there?
Then he goes on Tampa Bay radio every Tuesday and calls out Brady. Yeah. What is that going to do?
Mark Turgeon with Maryland basketball. Yeah, let's just call out all of our players and not hold ourselves accountable one bit. Agreed.
If you want to call him out personally, I get that. But going on radio, what is that going to do? What's the sense in it? If you want to call out Brady, make him go Michael Jordan and take it personally. I get it, but I don't know why I just don't know why you're doing it. I don't know.
Well, you talk about teenagers' phase. Like when I was 12, 13, I was a big Sixers fan, and I would be going crazy when we would have 20-point leads in the playoffs against the Bulls and then get annihilated in the second half every single game. Like, there's magnets on the rims. This is garbage. I'd be going insane and realize I'm looking like I'm going up against this wall of everyone you're an idiot. Well, that's kind of, I think, how it is with Arians and Tom Brady. He's giving him all these things that aren't going to work, and Brady's I guess I got to do them. But, man, I mean, when you look at AB, what are they doing with him, right? What are they doing with AB? You think about guys like Scotty Montgomery, now the Maryland offensive coordinator, used to draw up these amazing plays for AB, right? I mean, like Scotty's an incredible offensive mind, extremely underrated. Kind of invented Mike Wallace, invented Emmanuel Sanders, and oh, by the way, invented AB. You'll never hear AB give him credit, but there's no question that Scotty was the guy behind this, AB's routes. And I don't see him running any of those routes that he would run, like the curl routes. Like there's different routes that he would run with the Steelers that were like unstoppable because Arians doesn't run an offense like that. His offense is north-south, man. Go to the end zone. Let's have a 14-second possession and then put it all on our defense in the second half, a la Tebow in the playoffs in 2011, a.k.a. while you're gone, Uncle Brucey, from Pittsburgh forever, and you were forced to retire, a.k.a. you got canned. This game's going to be a blowout. I like Kansas City 41-20.
So is Leftwich calling plays or is Arians calling plays? Does it
Arians
matter?
Arians is definitely calling the plays.
Don't know.
Arians is definitely calling the plays. There's no way Lefty is going to have him. With Shifkins, when's the last time you saw Lefty go downfield? I think it was when he got that touchdown against the Ravens in 2012, the first game where he had to play, and he ran like 70, where he walked like 70 yards up the sideline, like it's Fred Flintstone mobile or something, like just walked up the sidelines for a touchdown. No, the only score of the entire game, we lost like 10-7 or something, right? Didn't we lose that game 10-7? The Ravens,
for sure.
2012, first 2012 Ravens game. See, these games are epic, guys. I mean, these Ravens Steelers games, every game is like its own 200-page book that you could write about it.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. That is the absolute truth.
Always different players involved,
Yeah, I mean, Arians' game is definitely vertical. His quarterback needs time, and he's got to have an arm to chuck that thing. It was like that in Arizona. It's like that in Pittsburgh, and I agree. Brady really isn't cut out for that. I will say, like, I was, I don't always watch the Sunday game, but I was surprised with how little pressure there was. I mean, Derek Carr had forever to pass the ball. Like, I was looking at my clock, I was like, wow, he's got like 4 seconds to look around the field. I mean, I think Brady will find some people if he has that much time. So, the Chiefs better get on that. I would definitely, I can't go against Mahomes. I mean, whether it's close, if it's close, I'm sure they're going to win. He's just, he is a winner. He knows how to make plays. He manages the game. He just finds his guys. Who's Kelsey? Like, who is this guy? Right? Is he that good? Tell me, is he that good? Is Kelsey really that good?
He's a good dresser. In his post-game pressers, he's got like the snazziest clothes you've ever seen.
The tight end version of Cam Newton.
Yeah. Except,
they are, they're like read each other's minds. I mean, they got a connection there. But, I'm definitely going to go with KC in this one. No doubt about it. So it's just a matter of how much they win by. I'll go ahead and say that, they'll put up 32 points to 27. And so that's what I think we're looking at. I think the Bucs will be, they'll play okay, but I think there's some turmoil going on there, not just coaching Brady. I mean, come on, walking off the field, not shaking hands again. Like that's low class, hey, come on, you're better than that. We all lose. We all lose in life.
Harbaugh didn't
man, deal with the losing
apparently.
like you deal with the winning. All right, brother.
Is it confirmed that Harbaugh shook hands too on Sunday with Vrabel?
I saw the vid. Vrabel went
it.
up and he kind of stood him off right there.
But they said later. They said later he shook hands.
I mean, if you guys saw the beginning of the matchup where there was like a little scuffle between Malcolm Butler and John Harbaugh, I think the Titans players were dancing on the Ravens logo or something. I don't know, taking lessons from Juju, just dancing for no reason. I don't know, but I guess John Harbaugh didn't like that.
You can dance when you're winning.
That's like stepping on our towel, man. You don't do that.
Ask the Bungles and TJ Hushmanzada and the Escaloozer in Cincinnati, which will be fired up again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new assistant principal at our school that listens to our podcast, which is really cool. His name is Mr. Holly. He's awesome, and he happens to be a Bengals fan. So we're sorry for that comment, Mr. Holly. That said, let's continue. Sorry.
I got the Buccaneers winning this. I think it's in Tampa Bay. I think Brady will bounce back. I think the offense will bounce back, and I hope they use AB how AB is used. Like AB can be used crazy, like not just running deep routes. Every time Brady throws the ball, I see AB down the field like 50 yards. Like you make him run different routes, he's amazing. Again, he's my favorite receiver, so I'm gonna be hyping him up every time I talk. But yeah, I got the Buccaneers winning this. I feel like it's gonna be a great game. 28-35, high scoring game. 28-28, Brady comes down, 2-minute drill. Touchdown.
I hope you're right.
The Brady of old. That's a great narrative.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised with the confidence you have in Tom Brady. You saw what we did last week. Like, what did he do that any other QB couldn't do? We're watching James Winston literally, like, those picks, where were they at? Those excuses were not being made for James last year. Brady had, let's say, an amazing game against the Raiders. Oh, he's back. He was never, he just needed weapons. And then he has arguably the best receiver core, the best offensive talent in all of football. And he's able to, I don't get where the excuses are being made. This offense is producing worse than it probably was last year. I'm not sure the stats, but you're talking about AB, Evans, and Godwin. That alone is arguably one of the best cores in the past couple of decades, if not the best. You can say Bruce and I can't think of anything that matches that. And he throws what, 2 picks? He had like under 200 yards for most of the game. He had two interceptions, 2 TDs. Like, it does not make any sense. This game is not going to be close. This is a Chiefs blowout. This Bucks, they had one good game against us where I was surprised, and then they do the same thing against the Raiders. I'm like, oh, this team's legit. Then against the Giants, what do they do? If it wasn't for a bad missed call and PI in the end of the game, if it wasn't for Danny Dimes throwing a pick, like, this is what he does. They were lucky they were playing against Danny. They were lucky. If it was any other QB, they're not winning that game. Next week, they get absolutely demolished in prime time with the Saints, and then the next week, it's really just underperformance every single week. And they have that once in a week where they show up, people are like, oh, they're back. Oh, this is the team to beat in the NFC. They're not. This team is a fraud. They will choke. They will fall apart one time in the playoffs. If they won't win the Super Bowl, I can guarantee you, they have too much talent and they're underperforming like crazy. The Chiefs will win this game 35-21. Yeah.
See, there I agree with everything SA said. That team has just underperformed. Too much talent. I just think that's the problem. It's too much talent. Like, for everyone to get their touches, like, I don't think there has to be something wrong with that locker room. Because for AB to get his touches, Evans to get touches, Godwin to get touches, Scotty Miller to get touches, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, LaShawn McCoy, that's just too much talent. I don't think Kansas City has that much talent. And then people rave about Kansas City's offense. I don't think they have that much. But you don't hear them complaining. And it's just, my issue is Bruce Arians. I don't trust him. If that was any other coach in this league, like was John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, that's a Super Bowl roster. Super Bowl 100%. I just don't trust Arians. Because that offense he does not work in this league. You cannot throw the ball downfield forever. Eventually, at some point, teams are just going to say, you know what? We know Bruce is going to take the check down. We're just going to drop everyone deep. And eventually, he's going to do that. Literally. I think that's what happened.
Eventually, I'm sorry.
And it's not great for a 43-year-old quarterback. Because to do that, you must have you have the weapons, but you don't have the own line. Because we've seen what happens when you play teams with a good front. Brady gets scared. He throws it short. He threw 2 picks that weren't supposed to be picks. I don't know why he threw them. To ironically, a number pick 199, 2 199 picks playing catch with each other. But you know, the one to Chris Godwin, that shouldn't even been thrown. He was double covered and he was off by 10 yards. And he threw that just because he got pressure on his face. Then the second one, 2-minute warning. I don't know why he lobs a seam. A seam is only thrown in maybe. You have to throw it on a dart. If you don't throw it on a dart, it's a pick. I've seen it and I've made that play before. It's Bruce Arians that's really messing this team up. And I don't know if he just thinks because Brady just trained naturally because he was in Belichick's system. Not to talk back to the head coach that he thinks he can just try to say he's the bigger person in this. Like, no, you're not. You have to understand this league. Sometimes you just got to give what they give you. You cannot force your way down the field. You do that, you make picks. And trust me, it happens every time. And for that reason, I can never trust the Bucks. Now, it's not. I don't think this will be a blowout because Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator and he knows what to do. He did a pretty good job against the Rams, but I think that's just Sean McVay is just a lot smarter and he's just a lot smarter and just knows what to do. He can find a way to put everyone in the picture, but I just don't. It's just Arians. I just don't trust Arians in this matchup, and for that reason, Arians or Andy Reid. I think we all know who we trust better, and that's Andy Reid. So for that reason, I'm taking Andy Reid to win this game. Actually, yeah, I lied. I'm gonna call it a blowout. I'm gonna say the same score that they beat the Raiders, 45-20, Kansas City.
And you said that about the offense of the Bruce Arians' offenses, and one of the big reasons he got fired in Pittsburgh is guys like the guy on my shirt here, Brett Kiesel, legend in the rivalry of the Steelers Ravens, said to Rooney, "Get rid of this guy. You're going to kill all of us." Meaning the defensive line gassed. By the time we got to that game against Tebow, man, guys couldn't even walk, let alone play in that game because we didn't have a possession over 2.5 minutes in that football game, even though we scored 28 points. And that's one of the things I think with the Ravens, why their defense for many, many years has been so effective is because your offense has been able to control the ball. And controlling the ball this time of season is really an underrated thing. And the Bucks can't do it. They could do it. They have the running backs to do it, but Arians won't go to that offense.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that when the Bucks are down, he forgets about the running game. Ronald Jones is number 5th in rushing yards. Last week he had a 98 actually yard run for a touchdown. He just forgets about them because when he's down, he starts, well, what do I do? Oh, I need to pass more. I need to pass more. And then Brady throws a terrible pick because he has bad decisions. It's just that team is a mess, and I agree with SA. They're frauds. I don't know.
Great word
More
choice.
picks, yeah. More picks he has right now than he did all of last year. And the problem was weapons. He has the best weapons arguably of all time. What's happening now?
And this was
Sorry to
the
interrupt. Go.
this is the exact reason why everyone was saying, "Oh, Bill Belichick is going to lose this divorce." No, he's not, because there's a lot of things Tom Brady's missing from Belichick. I bet you Belichick, if Belichick was the Bucks head coach, I bet you they're undefeated. I would promise that, and I guarantee it. Because what Bill Belichick has, he has an advantage Bruce Arians will never have, and that's being a defensive coordinator and actually the best at it. Because what he can do for Brady every week, what he did in New England, if he could tell Brady, if I was playing you every week, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna stop you. This is what I know this is what I think you'll do. He self-scouts Brady as well. And when he sees it in the game, Brady's not surprised by it. He knows what's coming because Bill does a great job scouting Brady every week. And with these games, a lot of games they've lost, Brady's been surprised about a couple things. I don't think things are as great as they are. So that's what I'm saying. Right now, Brady may win the divorce just because he's on a better team and he has all these weapons. But long term, if Bill gets the right quarterback, I think Bill will win this divorce and prove to everybody that Bill was the true reason why that dynasty came. Now, not saying Brady didn't play a part, but Bill played a bigger part in that dynasty than Tom Brady did.
Well,
Yeah,
there is
guys,
Bill Belichick, that's for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. No one can claim that. I just wonder, why is Tom Brady getting a pass? Like, I don't, it just seems to me that any other quarterback would be raked across the coals, including the one that's up in New England now, and so it just seems like there's a big double standard there. I mean, he has not played well, and for someone who holds himself on a pedestal, he gets the happy feet still. He's always had the happy feet. That's always been my knock against Brady. You make him move and he's not the same quarterback. But yeah, great points. Great point, guys.
Yeah,
Well,
just a little bit of breaking news. The Ravens Steelers game has been postponed for Sunday afternoon. So instead, instead of 3 Thanksgiving games, there would be only 2. So
and you take out the one good Thanksgiving game. So I guess
bummer, but hey guys, it's a bummer, but you know what? I mean, in the reality of the times, it's okay. Like we're still gonna have a
Yeah.
game. Hopefully they'll still play Sunday. Hopefully there won't be more tests and they'll play Sunday. That's a bummer, man. That's a huge bummer. Obviously,
Yeah.
everybody was
I
really.
really wanted it.
yeah. Well,
That hurts, man, to hear that live on air. But that's also good to hear live on air because it shows that we're relevant. So nice job there, Face. But
well,
yeah, that's
before
tough.
we
But
before we move on to the next game, we have to get Ceci's opinion since he just came on. He had a couple issues at home. That's why he came in late. But did you hear the edge and the over under for Kansas City, Tampa Bay?
we'll get you up to speed here. We'll get you a chance to weigh in, obviously, too, on the Ravens Steelers. Says we'll make sure that you get your opportunity to do that because we know you got a really informed take on that when we get to it. So,
Okay. Well, next we got another division matchup that could potentially decide the AFC South. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. And we all remember what this was last time. We all picked the Titans, and surprisingly, Phillip Rivers and the Colts surprised us, and they almost blow out the Titans. So, Indiana's favored by 3.5, 3.5 point edge, and then over under 50.5. Phasing on.
Oh man, this is a toss-up game. Like, yeah, just like what Emmanuel said, we all picked on Thursday night. We all picked the Titans, and the Colts upset. They actually won comfortably. They just they just manhandled Tennessee in the second half. Like it was crazy. But oh man, this is hard. I'm gonna, I'm gonna put my trust in Philip Rivers. I think he's gonna move to 2-0 against Tennessee this season. I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna say 28-24. I'm gonna say 28-24.
man, we were all wrong last time, but something about that end of that Tennessee game tells me that I think that really rejuvenated them. There was something about that way that Henry ran that ball into the end zone at the end of the game that just said that they weren't going to be denied and that when their backs were up against the wall, that they were going to get it done. And I think that's what we saw. And I think that's what we'll see this week too, because one thing that was a really tough play. Green Bay played a great game. I thought they deserved to win that game. And that was a tough thing. That fumble was tough. But at the end of the day, the Colts defense is good, but I still don't believe in Rivers. They say he has some kind of lower body injury. I'd actually be much more fearful if Jacoby Brissett had come in the game. I think at this point in time, I don't know. I think he will be the quarterback before the end of the season. I don't think Rivers is going to make it all the way to 16 games in playoffs. If he does, I'm happy because he can't move back there. He's like Mischievous, like you mentioned about Brady, statuesque. You get him moving east-west, and he's not good. And I think Tennessee figured out something defensively to patch things up last week, particularly in the second half, that was effective, and I think they'll carry it over. And I think Vrabel's a superior coach, even though I think Reich was a big reason why they won that Super Bowl in Philadelphia as a coordinator. I think that Vrabel's more experienced in these kind of situations, and I think they lost that first one because of special teams. Not this time. I like Tennessee winning 31-20.
Hey, so I do think that this is kind of like the Pittsburgh, Ravens matchup in some ways. It's it is a toss up. I mean, these teams go at it, and something's going to turn the game and give someone the edge. You don't know if it's going to be special teams. You don't know if it'll be a big run by Henry. You don't know if the Colts have been a great second half team. Maybe they just lock things down in the second half and. They forced Tannehill to throw it, which, may or may not work. Who knows? I do think that they split on the season. So I do think Tennessee will take, even though, Tennessee's defense isn't really convincing to me. I do think their run game is going to be on point, and I think Vrabel will have them ready to play. So I take Tennessee to win this in a close one. Something like 28-24. Okay. I actually have to run, guys. I really want to thank you guys. This is a great time. and you guys are like so big brained. I really appreciate the knowledge that I'm learning. Old guy learning new tricks. You guys are dynamite. So I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll get that game in on Sunday, and because it matters so much to us. But I do want to thank you all. I'm gonna have to roll here. All right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time and everything. And yeah, great contributions today. And here we go. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. And it was great having you. And yeah, we'll look forward to more in the future. So thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Mr.
your time.
Shipkins.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right. Some good deep analysis we're having today, guys. I'm loving this right now. I think this is going well. But let's keep it up.
So as Mr. Shifkin said, he picked 28-24. I got the Titans winning this. As Mr. Ellis said, I think they got the feel from last week. The last one just dominated. So I think they're gonna come out. They're gonna get revenge because I don't know how, but I think everybody was shocked when the Colts won Thursday night. It was like what 34-17, insane. So I got the Titans winning 28-21. No, 28-17. I feel like this is the game where they come out and win by like 2 touchdowns or a touchdown and a field goal. 28-17 Titans. If I have to leave by one, but if we can fit the Bills and Packers in quick, I think I can stay.
Very quick round robin, perhaps. Oh, Sezzy,
Sure.
we got to get a Sezzy score on Steelers
Yeah.
Ravens. So I think that's priority over everything.
hmm
I would say this game could go either way too. What the Colts showed last week was strength and weakness. You saw them really tighten up in the second half. Could now the main question is, could they repeat what they did to Tennessee a couple weeks ago now? And I really don't think that's possible in this game. Tennessee did surprise me in the second half last week, and so did the Colts. And I think this game will be very close. I think it could probably go to one of those games that could go to OT. I think Tennessee would win this in OT again, back-to-back games, 38-21. Yeah, I see Tennessee win this game through Derrick Henry again.
I agree with Essay. I mean, I think this is the time where Derrick Henry has been turned on. And I think that is going to take a toll on the Colts defense. Because when they did play last year, they had about the same pieces. Derrick Henry tore them to shreds, had almost, I think, 200 rushing yards. He tore them to shreds. Just Derrick Henry's just a monster. I don't know where you can make that running back. He's 6'3", 250, and runs a 4.5, maybe in the mid 4.4. That I don't know. You can't make that running back. I don't think you can make that running back out of anybody in this league. You couldn't combine the three best and make a Derrick Henry. He's just a different breed. And I think and then also
No doubt. No doubt. Sezzy, we want to give you a chance to weigh in, man.
This is gonna be a really, really, really tough game.
and then have a streak.
I'm favoring the Colts because I feel like they're hot. You saw that win against Green Bay. You saw that win against the Titans where they absolutely dominated. I don't really trust the Titans, and you guys might say I'm salty, but I feel like we lost the game for ourselves, honestly, because we had so many opportunities to kill the game off, and Lamar just made bad decisions. Greg Roman just called bad plays, and yeah, it was just bad time. It was just a bad game from us. So shockingly, even though the Colts don't do this in the season, I'm predicting a sweep. They're gonna go 2-0 against the Titans this year. I have a Colts win this one, 34-28.
Let's give Sezzy a shot to weigh in on Steelers Ravens, and maybe we close with that. Does that make sense? Is that good for everybody?
Sure.
And we'll everybody have some final thoughts, but let's give Sezzy some good FaceTime here to talk about this big matchup because we know you got some great insight, man.
Oh man, I have so much to say, but I'm gonna just try and keep it in time.
Say it all. We got time. Say it.
There's so many problems with the Baltimore Ravens right now, and these problems have been dating back to like 2017, if I'm being honest. I don't know if you guys remember, but John Harbaugh, almost like all of our coaching staffs on the hot seat right before Lamar came in. Lamar comes in, well, we were 4-5, goes 6-1. Go to the playoffs unexpectedly. He was a 22-year-old. And then the second season, he signed the extension, 14-2, MVP. And then we go out, we crash out in the playoffs due to what bad play calling and also bad play from Lamar. Eventually, that lack of an offensive scheme, like good coaches who know what to do when it matters. I don't want to say John Harbaugh's a bad coach because he's experienced, he's been there before, but he's not the one calling the plays. It's gonna catch up to us, and it looks like it caught up to us this year. Our receivers, Hollywood Brown, Essay would tell you I'm his biggest supporter. Like I'll go to war and back for that man. What are you doing? You can't catch the ball? Like you're a first round pick. It's unbelievable. You should have seen what JP was saying in the chat last week. Like it was just crazy. You're letting a 32-year-old receiver be our number one option. Like that doesn't make any sense. And our defense looks poor. Marlon Humphrey just came back from COVID a few weeks ago and he forgot how to tackle. We're missing half of our D line. It's all falling apart. But one thing I want to say is that no team goes to the Super Bowl without adversity. I don't know if you remember the 2012 Ravens. Even though Faison and everybody keeps telling me it's not 2012, we lost the last 5 out of our 6 games. It was looking bad for us. What do? Got hot at the right time. Beat Peyton Manning. Went to New England, beat Tom Brady, beat Kaepernick's almost unstoppable offense in 2012. We were hot, and I hope we can put everything together this season, but I don't think we're gonna put it together this game. I still have faith we will, but not this game. Obviously the Steelers, they're like a well-oiled machine. I remember when they said that they were gonna play 13, 14 weeks straight. Mike Tomlin said we're ready, and when Mike Tomlin he has that tone in his voice, it's like the Steelers are ready. Like they're gonna go on a roll. I don't. This is like the first time ever I'm predicting this on a podcast, so like maybe second, but I feel like the Ravens are losing a tough one here, 27-14. Steelers.
I agree with you on Mike Tomlin. He's been unbelievable and has forever. And it's nice to see him finally getting recognized. I mean, you guys have always recognized him, but it's nice to see him get recognized in the, national front of the talking heads and idiots out there on BSPN, those stations. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Winning
the same people who were trying to call for his job a couple of years ago with the whole, when they struggled a little bit, immediately, some struggle, fire that man immediately. Some people get spoiled with success and they're just used to it. The one time it's just sad to see. But now people are actually, what he did last year with them is finally getting the credit he deserves.
That's where this all started too. That's where this all started. This whole culture thing shift started. And so it's great to see. But yeah, and even if we lose this week, so what? We still got 3 games up on you. But not that worried about it. But the key is just for health. I think for both teams. You don't want to see any more guys get hurt for the Ravens than they've already had at this point. I mean, you want to see the most level playing field you can have, and I think playing the game on Sunday, as a Steelers fan, bias-wise, I'm frustrated because you guys have had a lot of Thursday night games at home against us. We have not had as many, and now we get robbed of another one. So that's the selfish side of me talking, but the practical side of me and the safe side of me and the real side of me talking says that this has got to be the right move. And if it ensures it'll be a better quality game, I'm down with that because, the Steelers, we need to be in those situations of adversity. This gives Ravens a little advantage now, though. You get a couple extra days of rest, and also you're coming off a high-intensity game, whereas we're coming off a game where our entire defense took the second half off. So the Ravens will have an opportunity to jump early on us, I think, due to that factor, but we'll see. But I think long-term, our defensive line health is better, and by the end of the game, that will show up, and I think we'll do enough to win. But it's going to be exciting, guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way because I know this series – and this is the greatest series in sports, and it's the most fun series to watch. And every game is its own epic story, and this one will be one too. But I appreciate these epic moments with you guys, man. This was a really good one, everybody. But FaZe, we didn't get to weigh in. How about a quick score count for you? Your boys going up against Kyler.
Like I said last week, we had like a little closing thoughts, and I said that we should beat the Texans, and we didn't. Deshaun from start to finish did not want to lose that game. If you guys even watch the highlights, he was a man on a mission, just absolutely diced up our defense. It was unbelievable. It looked like Clemson, Deshaun. Me watching as a middle school kid watching Deshaun Watson and Clemson. It was just like that on Sunday. Man, our defense was so inconsistent. It's been that this whole season, and it sucks not having Dante Hightower due to a COVID dropout because he had a newborn baby. So of course, I'm not telling him, you better, play. No, he has a right to stay home because he's been a loyal Patriot for so long. Patrick Chung has not been here as well because he dropped out of COVID. It sucks not having players, but we're not the only people. I'm not going to sit here and act like ignorant and stuff. But yeah, I just think, oh man, Kyle, if Deshaun did that to our defense, imagine what Kyle is going to do. We have to keep DeAndre Hopkins in check, but if our offense can play like we did against Houston, I think we have a real shot at upsetting the Cardinals. But I do have the Cardinals winning 27-24. But of course, I'm rooting for my Patriots, of course.
Yeah, FaZe. I mean, it's insane what Deshaun Watson did. But another sad news for the Ravens: Calais Campbell got coronavirus, so he's out for 10 days. And
See, I knew there was something going on with that, man. Like, that just didn't make sense that he wasn't playing last week when it looked like he was going to be up, right? Like,
so
man,
he's
let's
out for
just
10 days.
Right, he
Our
had an
center
injury.
is out. Yeah,
They said
Matt
he
Skura,
was.
Pat McCurry. Our
Yeah,
center is out. So our whole
they said
O-line
he
is
was
out.
questionable
Yeah, we
against
only have
Tennessee.
Tyree Phillips and Orlando Brown as the starters. Everyone else will be backups. I mean, Tyree Phillips is already a backup.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like our game against you guys last year in week 17, where half our team was out, including our quarterback who missed 14 games. But, you got to just knuckle up and figure it out. And Steelers did that in 2012 when they went in with Charlie Batch into Baltimore. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens do the same thing this week. This is why the rivalry is so great. So you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Our D-line banged up, O-line gone.
The
Tyree
schedule's
Phillips is
but
already a
if they're going to
backup.
have an 8th playoff team, the schedule's a joke after this. Like I said, guys, I'm not highfalutin anything here. I want to go all just wild right now and just talk about how excited I am to just destroy you guys on Thursday. But the reality is, whether we do or not doesn't matter because there's going to be a round 3, and it might be 1 versus 8, it might be 2 versus 7, but there's going to be a round 3. And so I'm not sitting here and going to be counting my chickens because I know, and I've seen this game before. I've seen a 15-1 Steelers season that ended with a New England Patriots win in Pittsburgh. I've seen a 13-3 season that ended with a New England Patriots win in Pittsburgh in the playoffs. I've seen a 1994 season where the Steelers were 13-3 and a 14.5-point favorite against Billy Joe Tolliver and the San Diego Chargers in the playoffs. So,
But I don't think this year, Mr. Ellis. I think you guys are straight on because
it was Stan Humphries, not Billy Joe Tolliver, but you get the point. Does it matter?
Yeah. I mean, I think you guys are fine because we lost. I'm not trying to complain. I'm not trying to
but
do
it's like
anything,
this,
but
man.
we
The
lost
Ravens look
everyone.
like the Ravens looked like they were fine too, though. At this point last year, when they were coasted to 14-2, rolling to that playoff game. Then we all woke up that morning, and I remember texting you all that morning about 10 a.m. and I told you all the temperature outside is not a good temperature for a game like this, much like I felt in Pittsburgh in 2017. But Mac Miller's right there, and 3 months later he's gone, and so are the Steelers out of the playoffs, and all those things. So you know what I'm saying? Like there's something about you feel the air, and
Yeah.
hopefully
But
good
all I'm
wins
saying
for
is,
everybody's team,
yeah.
but most of all the good wins in life, guys, and keeping yourself safe here in these times. It's crazy what's going on. But it's so awesome that we have this show and we can continue to do this, man.
Yeah. But I also think TJ Watt and Bud Dupree about to rush the hell out of Lamar Jackson. We got no one on O-line. And I'm going to keep my score, but inside, your D-line is going to kill Lamar. He's going to be running for his life.
We'll see. We'll see, man. Like
Good
I
luck
said,
to us.
these games have a mystique all their own, man. So we'll see. We'll see. Every single one of them is its own little storybook adventure, and you just throw the records out the window, man, when it comes to these games. It'll be fun. Let's just hope it happens.
Should we do a quick red robin?
Quick. Yep. Quick. Yep.
All right. Green Bay's favored with a 7.5 point edge over 145. Faison.
Yeah, don't see Aaron Rodgers losing 2 in a row. I don't even remember the last time he did lose 2 in a row. I don't even think he did. But yeah, I don't see it. Nick Foles is just not a good quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Matt Nagy cannot call plays. Reminds me of Bruce Arians, but hey, I'm not gonna go into that. I'm gonna say I think this might be a blowout on Sunday night. I'm gonna say 35 to 10, Green Bay.
Sorry that we forgot about this game.
I would
That's how
say the
much
same thing.
confidence that's how much confidence we have in you guys. I say that honestly. Like, I mean, I listen to Rogers talk yesterday has helped to inform my picks all through the last couple of weeks. Hearing him talk on McAfee's show and hearing him talk yesterday, I feel like, that game, that was a bad break at the end of the game. It was a great game. It was a playoff game and high energy intensity. I think the Packers bring that same energy in this game. There's no way that the Bears can match that. Defensively, they might make a few stops early, but this game is not even a game. This is blowout city. I mean, I got to say 34-10.
Yeah, I see a blowout too, 45-23. It's not going to be really a bounce back game because we played pretty well last week, but I see a good offensive performance this week from everybody, not just Devontae and MVS. I see everybody doing a good game.
I think you get a sense that was the Colts' peak too. That game, man. I think they're going to plateau from here on out. I think that was their peak moment. I think for the Packers, that was their moment to say, "Let's go."
Yeah, I got the Packers winning this easily, 28-10.
Yeah. 3 words. Aaron Rodgers after 4 words, actually. Aaron Rodgers after losses. He doesn't lose. Packers are winning this one easily, 35-21.
Repeat everybody. It's not gonna be a game. I mean, maybe the Bears defense will keep it close. I'm gonna say Packers win 31-21.
How about a Big Al's Italian beef, man? There's nothing I'd like to have more right now than a Big Al's Italian beef from Chicago, man. Some of the greatest food in the world. Exchequer
Yeah.
Pub pizza, man. Oh, I'd go to Chicago just for the food right now, not even for this game, but yeah. Oh, man.
Hopefully, we all have a great Thanksgiving. There's only 2 Thanksgiving games. We have to count on the NFC least to have a good game in Detroit and Houston. It's not the best circumstances in the world, guys, but we have to do what we got to do. Hope everyone stays safe in this Thanksgiving. Hopefully, we have a blessed Thanksgiving. We got to work. We got to do, and yeah, hopefully everyone has a great day, and hopefully have a great Thanksgiving as always, man.
Just appreciate you guys so much, man. This is awesome. And my school year would not be the same without it for sure. And I think that goes for some people that listen to. So, that's pretty great, man.
Yep.
And again, guys, we got a lot of people listening on the audio component too. So we want to thank everybody out there that's been listening. We're getting a lot of hits on the Paint Branch Mainstream website for our audio. People don't have to look at our faces, don't have to look at this giant Irish melon, and it's probably a lot better, just more palatable to listen to on audio. But we're getting a lot of hits on that site, and so we thank Mr. Woodward, who I know is listening to this. We thank him for and our wonderful Paint Branch Mainstream staff for getting our word out that way too in the audio portion. So. Take us out, Mr. Temple.
It's gonna be a great week of football. I can't wait to see you guys Monday. I hope Baltimore can pull out a big one. I still have faith in them, even if they don't. I'll ride or die for the Ravens any day. There ain't too much to say. Just can't wait to see y'all next week.
Well, if you see me in purple, you'll be happy, won't you?
Won't we all?
I don't know. Faye used to see me in his team's colored jerseys all the time. That's why when he was talking about the middle school days, I'm like, man, how many times did I wear that Patriot jersey in middle school? Started 6th grade.
I remember those days, man. You used to. I remember that Jesse James game, the beginning. I remember you shoving that Steelers jersey up in my face, and I. those were the days, Mr. Ellis.
Man,
I know you still have nightmares about that game, though.
I do.
I can't blame you. It was a bad call. Even as a Patriots fan, that was a bad call. It was a bad call.
Yeah, but you know what was great is that Tomlin never said anything about it.
Yeah.
Right? Unlike Harbaugh, who cries every time it's a bad call. It's the first thing he talks about at the press conference. You never heard Tomlin say a word about it. He never discussed that.
It wasn't a bad call. It wasn't bad. The rule
it was a
bad.
horrendous call. But
no. For the time, it followed the rule, which they had to change it. But at the time, he did go to the ground losing possession. The rule was just bad. I think the refs get too much
Okay,
slack for
Mr.
that.
Points Leader, we'll give you
Yeah,
that.
okay,
All right, all right. You got the
Come on.
credibility, so we can't say.
Come on, Raven.
It's not really leading points as me.
Oh, this week?
Yeah, you're
Oh,
behind
but
me
I'm
by
saying
2.
I'm saying after this week, Emmanuel. After this week.
Yeah, that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
All right, great job, everybody. Take care.
So.